Alright, so all the first roundup upgrades for every category has been finally delivered. That was 12 hours. Let's get the rest of the upgrades going. So now I did some experiments with different combination of upgrades to find out which is the what you can get away with and what's essential. What is essential? Well, we need the second round of upgrades across the board. That's gonna be at least the cheapest way to achieve the required PR, which is 90. So here we go. It's gonna be all gold, by the way, as I mentioned earlier before as well. So 75 gold for engine, and then we'll talk about the third round upgrades in a bit after I'm done installing the second round of upgrades. So we got 70 for drivetrain. And then the third round of upgrades, you'll notice they're all cash upgrades. So if you're, if you have a surplus racing dollars in your account, then no reason to walk this tightrope. But if you just like to, meet just bare minimum because you like to, I don't know, live on the edge or something, body, you need to get this as well. So as you notice, the third round upgrade on body is a racing dollar as well. It's going to be across the board. So suspension, yes, 65. So how much have I spent so far? I don't know. I didn't keep track. It was like 75, 70, and what was the body? 50 something? And 60 something for suspension. Let's get the rest of it going. Suspension or exhaust here, 65. And the brakes usually cheap, 50. So I'm thinking body might have been 55. And then what do we got for tires and wheels? 60. All right, so that brings us to PR 86.9, as you can see. Now, you have to get almost all third tier cash upgrades for this car. And here's what I can tell you what you have to have in that combination, as in you cannot skip out on these. If you out of the okay, so there are 7 categories and you have to get 6 of the racing dollar upgrades, and so you can skip out on one, but I can tell you ones that you cannot skip out on. For example, engine, you have to get it. If you don't get it, you're gonna, if you make that engine upgrade as being the one that you're gonna miss because it's the most expensive racing dollar upgrade, then your PR is going to be 89.9. It's gonna come just short, so that's not gonna allow you to win the car, which is a little frustrating if that's where you find yourself. Same goes for drivetrain. If you don't get this upgrade, you're not gonna once again be able to win the car because you'll land exactly same place as the other one, 89.9. Same goes for 2 more, suspension and exhaust. So those are essential. You have to get them if you want to win the car with the cash upgrades from this point, right? So, and they're 1 day delivery time on those. So if you haven't got them yet, get going. I am pretty late here myself. So, and then there's exhaust. So that is gonna be, as I said, something essential that you're gonna have to get. Now, so we have 3 categories remaining, right? We got body, brakes, and tires and wheels. So we have to upgrade 2 out of those 3. Now, if you, let's see, if you skip brakes, I think you end up with a PR 90.1. Not that it matters. So that's that, because brakes generally considered not as useful in terms of giving you more competitive edge, I feel like. Although obviously in real life that makes a huge difference. But then again, depending on how much of an upgrade that you're getting here, right? If brakes really did allow you to push that braking points really deep into a corner, then perhaps, maybe. But generally speaking, I feel like it does not affect at least the gameplay as much. As that's my experience. So if there's a upgrade to skip, generally that's the one that I skip. But for this purpose, let's see, how much is body? 165,000 racing dollars, right? Okay, how much is brakes? 146. So that is definitely cheaper. And then how much is tires and wheels? 175. So out of the three that's remaining, tires and wheels is the most expensive one out of the three for the racing dollar upgrades. So if you're thinking the cheapest route in terms of both, across the board would be the one to skip would be tires and wheels. But I do like tires and wheels upgrade over body upgrade, generally speaking, because this one, body, gives you, well, let's actually read into this a little bit more. The top speed increased by 3 kilometers per hour, and the acceleration decreased by 0.02 seconds, so 2/100ths of a second. So that's what you get for body. What do we get in tires and wheels? We get the, let's see, same improvement in acceleration. That's 2/100ths of a second, and but it does not affect your top speed, obviously, because it's tires and wheels. Instead, it does give you increase in grip. In other words, handling. So it gives you just a little bit more, edge around corners, which is handy, I gotta say. So where do we go in that department? Or, brakes. Same kind of grip improvement here. But obviously braking distance is decreased by what, 0.4 meters? I don't know. Does that really would that make that much of a difference in your gameplay, right? So if you're actually concerned about the play, then I suppose the brakes might be the one to skip, which means you'll end up with 90.1 PR, or PR 90.1. But if you're going with the cheapest route, then you'll skip the tires and wheels, which will land you right on 90.0, and you'll go with end up with a body and brakes upgrade up to 3rd tier. Basically everything up to 3rd tier except for tires and wheels. So that'll be the cheapest route. But if you're more concerned about handling of the car, this car already handles pretty well, I think. But if you are, ultra concerned about it, or if you want to improve the handling of the car, then you can skip body upgrade and go with brakes and tires and wheels upgrades, which once again land you at 90.0. So I guess if you skip the body upgrade, that's kind of the middle of the road. You're skipping the mid-price racing dollar upgrade to get to the 90.0 PR requirement, versus if you go with if you skip the tires and wheels, that's the cheapest route. And if you skip brakes, then obviously you're going with the most playability. So now those essential 3rd round upgrades are done. I'm still pondering which ones to get to complete among tires and wheels, brakes, or body. So that is, how many upgrades is that? 18 so far, so I'm gonna need 20. And currently, obviously, you can see PR is 89.1. And yes, while waiting, refinished the car too. So let's have a quick look. Just a few basic vinyls, nothing special. The stock finish is pretty sharp, but needed to do something just so it stands out in the grid, so it does not look like all the other cars. So yeah, anyway, let's before we'll proceed for now with the 18 upgrades that we already have, since we have the timer running down on the event. So we do need to make some progress here. So we'll do just that, make some forward progress while pondering about which upgrades to get to round it out. So 320 and change is what I have to hit here. Should be pretty easy. The Spec straight right here on a single lap is the fastest section of the track. But I didn't need to rely on that last bit, since I was able to hit the target speed prior. Alright, so 2 down.